So tomorrow we are having a taco bar, which is
Okay.
why when I walked in today, I said that I just got done making guacamole because I did for the taco bar tomorrow. So like my parents are currently, or they were, making some chicken, like shredded chicken for chicken tacos. There's people bringing, I think, brisket and pork and beef. People bring tortillas. People are bringing shredded cheese, like everything.
Do you do taco bar every Thanksgiving? Or do you switch
No,
up the...
no, we switch it up, I think.
That's like
Is
weird.
it that weird?
It's weird.
Is it weird that it's tacos, or is it weird that it's just not Thanksgiving food?
I think it's just weird that it's not Thanksgiving food. I don't know. Like when I think of Thanksgiving, like you have all of the food groups, and yeah, some people have a couple of things here and there that are different about what they have, but for the most part, everybody has, turkey, maybe another meat. You've got the green bean casserole or something else, potato salad, macaroni salad. You've got some pies, some potatoes, whichever way you want to make your potatoes. Like you have like the staple of like, not like a staple, but you have like a footprint of what you're going to do for a Thanksgiving. And I mean, a taco bar is not that.
Somebody asked if I'm from England because I do a taco bar. No, I think how it all started, why we do this stuff, is this is what my family does. So we rent out a cabin out at somewhere, I can't remember. It's just a little bit west of Lincoln. And we rent out a cabin, so there's tons of place for like the younger kids to like play football and stuff and play stuff like that. And it's one of those things where we're such a big family that way everybody just brings something. Which I guess you could do that with traditional food.
Yeah.
But I like I said, I'm genuinely curious if it's weird or if it's
weird.
If it's all right. I needed to get
weird. And like it's probably fine.
And if it's weird, if it's weird to you, Rico, it's most definitely weird.
Like it's just, I don't know. It's fine, and like you can do whatever you want. Like every family has their own traditions,
I'm not,
whatever. Like you do you.
I'm not saying my family's
but
not
I
weird.
think there are going to be more people that think it's weird than not.
Okay. And once again, nothing against normal or traditional Thanksgiving food.
The Sanders just don't want to be normal.
Look at me.
They're just built different.
You're darn right. We're having taco bar tomorrow. And taco bar, it's like taco bar, carrot cake, and
do you at least have like, is somebody bringing turkey? You can put some turkey in your tacos?
No.
Why?
Nobody's bringing turkey. Also, unpopular opinion, turkey's dry.
Turkey is gross.
Turkey's nasty.
It's not unpopular. It's very popular.
Okay, very popular opinion.
I will eat it because, it's part of it. Like I'll get like a slice of turkey and I'll eat it, but I don't like turkey.
Somebody says that Ryan says this, seriously, Nick, I would have never guessed your family is that non-traditional. You seem like you come from a turkey and mashed potatoes family. He agrees with you, Rico.
Wow. Ryan agrees with me. Nobody ever agrees with me.
Scott says it's weird but cool. I was genuinely curious. I mean, because the reason I brought this up is because during the 1 o'clock hour, Tom and Bach and Mark were talking about their favorite Thanksgiving foods. And I realized that I'll eat Thanksgiving food, but not at Thanksgiving time. Like green bean casserole, I'll eat it, but not during Thanksgiving. Cheesy potatoes, I just made a batch a couple weeks ago, not because of Thanksgiving, just because I wanted to make cheesy potatoes. I never have turkey because it's nasty. Ham, seems like there's a debate whether or not ham is a Thanksgiving food.
It is.
I'll have ham. I'll have ham every now and then.
But it's holiday ham. It's not just like regular ham. There's a difference. Holiday ham is different than regular ham.
Oh, interesting.
You can't just have ham.
Somebody says this: if your turkey is dry, you didn't cook it right. How do you cook?
I've had juicy turkey. I just don't like turkey. Like I just don't care for turkey. Like it's just there. It's one of the more boring birds.
Yeah. Okay. Ray says a multiple protein taco bar sounds amazing. You can have turkey and ham and potatoes in a year. Bingo.
Yeah, but you're not having turkey at your taco bar.
You darn right I'm not. Brian says, Husker Howie, it's weird, but sign me up for the carrot cake. Yes, my mother's carrot cake's fantastic. Jesse If your turkey is dry, you didn't cook it
A lot
right.
of people saying that well, I mean, I get that if food is dry, it's not cooked correctly, but still.
Qdoba guy is trying to say that my mom sucks at cooking turkey if the turkey's dry. My mom does not cook the turkey. So
Mama Sainer is a saint.
She is a saint. Also, she is in charge of so actually we had to do a trial run this last week for the chicken tacos that she's making. And it's in a crock pot, and I can give you guys the recipe. It's I think it's
a secret.
It's rotel, it's shredded chicken. There's a couple other things in there as well, salsa maybe, and basically it's in the crock pot. And one night last week, she's like, "Hey, just come over, have some tacos, try them out, because I need to make sure that they taste good before we take them to a family thing."
Yeah,
and they were fantastic. So very easy recipe. I love crock pot, by the way.
Crock pots are great.
Qdoba guy responds by saying, "I'm not sure if I can trust her cooking. Her son eats peanut butter and jelly on hamburger buns."
That's not her cooking.
We are not getting into this again.
That's not her cooking. That's just him being weird.
If you ate dry, tasteless turkey, you probably ate my mother-in-law's, says somebody.
Says unnamed texter. Wow. Shots fired.
Frederick Frank says, "I've heard of families ditching traditional Thanksgiving fare. Some do steaks or prime rib." We did prime rib at Christmas. Is there traditional Christmas food?
No, I mean, my family doesn't even have, we have rice and ham and another form of pork that I don't know the English way of saying it.
What's
Pernil.
the what?
Pernil.
Pernil?
Pernil.
Pernil.
You're not going to say it right. It's fine.
It sounds like the Dwight Schrute Christmas thing.
It's not. It's not. That's we have rice. We have two different types of ham. Well, not ham. Two different types of pork. We have like a 7-layer salad that my cousin makes.
Okay.
I don't eat it because it's gross, but everybody else loves it. We don't really have like the traditional Thanksgiving meal either way, but we always have the same thing for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So
yeah, no, I like people are saying that the cabin idea is really cool that my family does. It's pretty cool. Scott says prime rib is the most traditional Christmas food I know of. Interesting. I did not know that. I just always knew
prime rib is delicious.
I just always knew that it was desserts at Christmas. That's which we'll talk about down the road.
We'll hit on that later.
402-464-5685. That was a lot of engagement. I was not expecting. Jesse does crab legs with Christmas.
Okay, Jesse.
I would like that.
Look,
no,
Jesse.
no.
We don't need to know how much money you make. All right. We don't need to know that you're rich and you're out here buying crab legs
and prime rib. We also do prime rib at Christmas along with crab legs.
Okay, Jesse. Mr.
Is there
rich,
calamari there?
Yeah, Mr. Rich Guy. What do you got? Caviar.
That's the
calamari. Also.
Calamari.
Yeah, it's like squid.
Brian T says he's going to your house for Thanksgiving, Rico.
It's not my house. It's my grandma's house, and she's in Puerto Rico. No, it's in Omaha. It's in South Omaha.
Okay.
No, she's in Puerto Rico with my mom and my cousins. So we're not going there for Thanksgiving. We're going to go to my in-laws who make delicious food as well.
Way up north.
Yep.
All right.
Nice 3-hour jaunt.
Yeah, it's a jaunt. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, Starter Heyman text line. Keep sending your thoughts in that. We'll get to them all today. I want to talk about Nebraska, Iowa, obviously, before we get to Aaron of Hale Varsity here at 2:30. But here's what I'll say. And I asked Rico this question before the show, and he quickly kind of told me off, but
a little bit.
But here I want to pose this, and Rico is probably correct. But is this Nebraska's best opportunity to beat Iowa under Scott Frost? Now, let me just walk through a couple scenarios before we hear Rico's explanation. But both sides are playing their backup quarterback, so you have that. Obviously, Iowa probably in the running back room specifically, because once again, surprise, it's another week of Nebraska football. Nobody knows what the running back room for Nebraska is going to look like. Right. In Iowa, they still have Tyler Goodson. And then in terms of defense, Nebraska has a better defense than they've had any of the other 3 years under Scott Frost. And I'll kind of walk through how the 2018, 2019, 2020 games went. 2018, they lost 31-28. Iowa won on a field goal that expired. In 2019, guess what? Keith Duncan blew kisses to the Memorial Stadium crowd in a 27-24 win. Dedrick Mills had 94 yards. Adrian only had 50 yards passing and an interception. And then in 2020, Iowa beats Nebraska 26-20 at home. And Tyler Goodson had 111 yards in the game, 87 of those coming in the second half last season. Mm-hmm. And Connor Culp had a couple field goals. Ramir Johnson had a 12-yard run, I believe. And Adrian Martinez had a touchdown run as well. But that was the game 2020. Luke McCaffrey was the leading rusher for Nebraska, and Wan'Dale Robinson was the leading receiver with 9 catches and 75 yards. So I'm genuinely curious, is this Nebraska's best opportunity under Scott Frost to beat Iowa? Iowa comes in, I think they're 9-2.
Yes.
That's the record, correct?
Yes.
9-2.
Number 16 in the
haven't
country.
necessarily been that impressive as of late, especially with a backup quarterback in. Obviously, their defense, with all the takeaways that they have, they're a top program in the country in terms of taking the football away from their opponent.
Very opportunistic.
That's impressive. But I look at the backup quarterback thing, and you can say what you want, how Logan Smothers hasn't played, and specifically, I mean, me and Rico talked about yesterday how Logan hasn't been able to get in.
We don't know what
You're
Logan
right.
is.
But there is a way for Nebraska to script their offense to have it be beneficial and look okay for Logan Smothers. There's a way, and it probably involves a lot of option. Make it simple.
A lot of quarterback running.
Same thing we've said about Luke McCaffrey in the years past.
Which, if there's a lot of quarterback running, you might see Heinrich Harburg at some point during that game. I'm not saying, hopefully there's no type of injury, but I'm just saying, if your quarterback's running the ball a lot more than he's going to pass the ball, he's going to get roughed up, and he might need to sit down for a little bit to kind of catch his bearings or something. It's especially when you're going up against a physical defense like Iowa, or really any Big Ten defense. They're extremely physical. They're very large, and they're going to hit you. They're going to make sure you remember who hit you. So if your quarterback's running the ball a lot, as we've seen with Adrian, he has yet to finish a season playing every single game. So if you've got Logan Smothers in there who doesn't have that much experience getting into a game, and I know, he played high school football, he knows how to take a hit, but taking a hit from grown men in the Big Ten is a little bit different than taking hits from high schoolers down in Louisiana or in Alabama. Yeah, he's Alabama, Muscle Shoals. But my thing with this is I don't think this is their best chance to beat Iowa. I know that this Iowa squad is kind of struggling offensively, and they get most of their points and most of their offensive production coming off of turnovers and very, very short fields against teams that they play. But their running attack is still pretty solid. Statistically, Nebraska has a better running game than Iowa, but that is mostly Adrian Martinez, who, as we know, is not going to be playing in this game. And as you said earlier, we still don't know the running back situation for Nebraska. Iowa has Tyler Goodson. He's a solid running back. You know what you're going to get with Tyler Goodson. So they're going to turn around. They're going to hand it off to him. They're going to let their offensive line, dictate what they do during that game. They have a backup quarterback. We're not really sure exactly what they're going to do with him, but their leading receiver is a tight end. And you've seen how Nebraska struggles. You've seen how Nebraska struggles covering tight ends. Yeah. If you don't, just go back and watch the Michigan game. Anytime Michigan needed 5, 6, 8 yards, they would just dump it off to the tight end underneath, and he'd just rumble ahead for about 10 yards. So Nebraska struggled covering tight ends this year. That is what Iowa is the best at, is running the ball and tight ends. And I know Nebraska has had a solid rush defense for at least the first half of the season, but you've seen against Purdue, against Minnesota without, Mo Ibrahim, who is coming back next year.
Yeah.
Whatever. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, torn Achilles.
Yeah. Minnesota, who didn't have their best running back. Purdue, who is not known for running the ball, kind of ran all over this defense. I know they didn't gain a lot of yards, but it just seemed like anytime they needed some yardage, they could turn around, hand it off to their running back, and get something. And then you saw what Wisconsin just did to Nebraska's defense. I know everybody wants to say, oh, they're better than that, and they know they're better than that. But you just got torched by a 17-year-old, a true freshman in Wisconsin. Iowa's got some big boys up front that can also block, and Tyler Goodson is more experienced than Braylon Allen. So that's just something else you're going to have to look forward to. And you've had so many opportunities to beat Iowa in these last 2 years, where it came down to 1 or 2, small plays, a turnover here, a missed block, a penalty here, and then Iowa wins the game with a field goal. But this year, with your backup quarterback where the coaching staff knows how good he can play. They've seen it in practice, but they've talked about how good people play or how people practice very well before, and then it doesn't really show up on the field. So from our perspective, we have no idea what Logan Smothers is going to do. We have no idea how he's going to look. We've seen him in garbage time, but that doesn't really, that's not going to really lead up to anything.
Well, it's been garbage time for a brief moment.
Yeah, it's barely like you saw him against Fordham, and you saw him against Buffalo for a very small amount of time. Well, and then Buffalo, you got, Fordham, you got all the quarterbacks in, so you didn't even get to see him that long. Michigan State, you saw him for a series where he was moving the ball pretty well, but then Adrian Martinez came back in the game after fixing his jaw.
Yeah, which, think about that. Like,
you've had so many opportunities to get Logan Smothers into a game, and you haven't done that. So I'm not going to put all of my eggs into the, Logan Smothers is going to lead this team to a victory against Iowa basket just yet. But if the defense can play the way that they did for the first half of the season, they have a pretty good chance, but I don't believe this is the best chance that they've had under Scott Frost.
402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line. Both those are open for you. Kool-Aid Man says, remember, a guy with a good shoulder probably can do better than a guy with a hurt shoulder. Now, that's that's what's so fascinating about how this season played out, because Nebraska, Rico just mentioned it. We've seen Logan Smothers in garbage time or in very short amounts of time, whether that be, I want to talk specifically about the Michigan State game. And we can even say about the Purdue game, which we've talked about many times before, about how with 4 interceptions, he was still your best chance to win. And that's how they felt. But then also, like, Michigan State, think about that, is it was at the end of the first half, yes, so they had halftime to kind of sit on it and think about what they wanted to do, what their next move was. But Michigan State was not necessarily playing well that game. Nebraska was not necessarily playing all that well against Michigan State. It was more of a defense. It was Nebraska relying on their defense. It's been the same. Once again, you talk about the same story, and it's Nebraska relying on their defense, something that they're going to have to do this Friday, because 20 points seems to be a lot of points for Nebraska to score this Friday.
Yes. Iowa's defense is solid. Nebraska's defense is pretty solid. Iowa's offense is worse than this Nebraska offense, but they have an identity. We've talked about this many times before. They have an identity. They know what they're going to do. Nebraska didn't have an identity with a 4-year starting quarterback. So now you've got a backup who's barely seen the field. I have no idea what's going to happen with this team.
It's wild. Just to think about how Nebraska, how their season has kind of unfolded there as well. All right, let's get to more of your texts. The chances of Smothers leading the Huskers to a victory are slim to none. Now, maybe if he had gotten more playing time, ... I want to say this. I hope that if Nebraska wins on Friday, I do not want the conversation to be on Friday afternoon. Oh, wow, I wonder how many games Nebraska could have won if they would have just put Logan Smothers in. We cannot we cannot have that conversation, because if you remember correctly, at the beginning of this year, there was a small group that said Adrian Martinez needs to be benched. Adrian Martinez needs to be benched, but I lost my train of thought there. But then there was a bigger group that was Adrian Martinez is the only reason Nebraska's in any of these games. And rightfully so. I went through the let me pull up my little spreadsheet here I should have kept this going throughout the whole year of Adrian Martinez stats. There was, think about after the Illinois game and after the Fordham game, these are the two games that I went snap by snap for offensively for Nebraska through. And I was telling you guys about how Adrian specifically, individually, played extremely well, because this was when everybody was calling for him to be benched. And so, versus Illinois, he had the offensive line was atrocious. I'm looking at this. Scrambles because of pressure, 8 of them. He finished the game, 8 of 11, 21, 13, 16 of 28, it looks like, by my quick math here. 16 of 28, 3 of them were throwaways intentionally, and he was scrambled out of the pocket 8 times, and one of those times he scored on a 75-yard touchdown run, if you remember that.
It's a nice run.
And 3 of those incompletions also came in desperation time on the last drive of the game. Like, I do not want this conversation on Friday afternoon to be, oh, I wish, maybe the staff needed to put Logan Smothers in right after Illinois, and this season would have been completely different.
And I mean, we kind of get that on it. Like, we absolutely should have that conversation. Adrian's mistakes were absurd. What if Smothers plays a clean, smart game? That is good. But also, what if he's worse?
Also, no.
You don't like the thing is we don't know either side of the coin. We don't know if Logan Smothers would have got in if he would have played better than Adrian. We don't know if he would have got in if he would have played worse than Adrian. They would have had to bring Adrian right back into the game.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know.
Here's my reasoning for that. Now, there's also the other side, and I'm getting some flack on the text line because of that. There were situations where Frost should have put Logan Smothers in to have an opportunity. But at the end of the day, this season, what we know and what we've heard, not only from the staff saying that and what they've done, is that Adrian gave Nebraska the best chance to win.
Mm-hmm.
However, and they're saying this, flip that, Nick. If Smothers does win the game, there's going to be a lot of questions for Frost. Why doesn't he give Smothers more chances to play? You're absolutely correct. Absolutely right about how there should have been times, and I've said it so many times, that there were many opportunities that Frost, whether he should have or could have, put Logan Smothers in at quarterback. And that's just interesting. I just don't want that to be the only conversation. Like we'll talk about it. I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Like if Logan wins the game, I don't want the only question that people are asking are, well, why didn't you put him in earlier in the season? Why didn't you put him in against Purdue? Why didn't you put him in, against Michigan State for longer after Adrian broke his jaw, which is a legitimate question. Dude broke his jaw and you still didn't have faith in your backup quarterback.
Yeah.
But, I don't want that to be the only question. That could be a question that we will ask. We're not deserved answers to any of these questions, but we will ask the question. People will ask the question, but that shouldn't be the only question that will be asked if Logan Smothers leads Nebraska to a win against Iowa.
Yeah, that might be a good place to start with Aaron Sorensen. But before we get to that, I want to mention this. So Muchachos, Nick, our good buddy at Muchachos, he's letting us know that he's going to give away 2 Thanksgiving dinners. So if you can think of somebody that needs a Thanksgiving dinner, courtesy of our good friend Nick at Muchachos, let us know on the text line. Feel free to call in. You can talk about the person. It can remain anonymous. If you want to call in and remain anonymous but still talk about it, please do. Mm-hmm. That's super cool. We'll have you
text it in.
Yeah, text it in. We'll have you call in the final segment.
You could DM the 93.7 The Ticket Twitter. You could DM Nick or myself and remain anonymous if you would like to. You can put your name onto it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And then we are also giving away a $50 gift card to Canopy Street Market to help people out with their Thanksgiving dinner as well. So please, there's plenty of opportunities to put a smile on some good people's face that might just not have an opportunity to have the best Thanksgiving possible. So let us know.
Have somebody
402-464-5685. Starter Heyman text line, Honda of Lincoln hotline. We will do all that, and we'll talk to Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tired of interrupted printing or money-wasting long-term copier contract? Join Cartridge World's no-cost printer program. You get a free brand printer, free service maintenance and repair, free delivery. All this for just buying our high-quality, affordable printer cartridges. Simple agreements and local friendly service, as it has been for more than 25 years. Cartridge World. Contact us today.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
A windy and cooler day for our Wednesday, topping out near 53, but temperatures could fall a bit this afternoon. Northwest winds gusting over 30 at times. Clear and chilly tonight with a low of 26. Tomorrow for your Thanksgiving Day, mostly sunny, not as windy, but cool with a high of 39. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
South Lincoln has a new place for you to catch all sporting events. The Upside Bar and Lounge is your destination for Monday Night Football, UFC fight nights, and more. It's a great place to meet friends to enjoy great drinks and food, with plenty of TVs to catch all the action. There's easy access and free parking and comfortable seating for groups. And don't forget happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. each weekday. There's specials every night, including taco night on Mondays and burger baskets on Tuesdays. That's at the Upside Bar and Lounge at 27th and Pine Lake.
Are you sick of mindlessly running on a treadmill or the lack of motivation to consistently work out? Whatever your challenge, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping can help. Whether you want to lose weight, boost energy, or simply improve your overall health, you'll fit right in at Farrell's regardless of age or abilities. Build endurance with their kickboxing and strength training group fitness classes while also getting nutrition coaching. Try Farrell's now for a free week. Visit fxblincoln.com or call Jeff at 402-310-4026. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Holiday baking. Sounds fun, right? Except, do I really need a special kind of flour? And how much of a difference does it make if I use a different size pan? And the recipe says this should only take me 30 minutes to prepare, but I've been at this for 2 hours and it doesn't look anywhere close to anything edible. So what if this weekend you got your baking done for the entire season? Done. Beatrice Bakery is here for you. With special prices this weekend only from Black Friday to Cyber Monday, forget about it. The more you buy, the more you save. Check them out at BeatriceBakery.com or just head down to their store in downtown Beatrice. Beatrice Bakery. Welcome to our world of yum.
You know you want that smoky, tangy, sweet, and spicy sauced and tossed Wingstop. But you just brought a haul of groceries home from the store. It's cool. No one expects you to shop and cook in the same day. So let the flavor experts at Wingstop hook you up with mouth-watering wings, crispy tenders and thighs, fries and sides delivered to your door. You can always cook tomorrow. That's why the fridge was invented. Get it delivered at wingstop.com.
Order online now from the new Wingstop located at 5001 O Street. Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
Well, today's Husker Radio Report, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. There's just something about Nebraska, Iowa. It's taken some time, but it's clearly grown into the biggest rivalry on the Huskers schedule. And for Eric Chenander, it even means more as he's not only from Iowa, he also played for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, this rivalry, I think it means everything. I know our guys want to win. They want to win a game in the last stretch here. They want to win this one. This game's got a trophy involved. Anytime there's a trophy involved, it's a special football game. Obviously, for me growing up in that state, there's a lot of people that I know they're going to be cheering for Iowa, which is, obviously adds a little fuel to the fire.
For Ben Stilley, this will be his 6th Heroes Trophy game. He's hoping he can finally come home with that trophy on Friday.
I think there's, a little, I guess, more hatred that goes towards each other, on both sides of the ball. So, it's just a little extra that goes into the game for sure.
Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. We're getting a lot of traction on the text line about the conversation that we'll have on Friday afternoon if Nebraska does find a way to beat Iowa. And I want to start there. We're joined on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, as we are every Wednesday, by Aaron Sorensen of Hale Varsity. Hello, Aaron. First of all, how are you?
I am good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about that a little bit. So obviously the elephant in the room is Logan Smothers is starting for Nebraska on Friday. What's the conversation going to be around that quarterback room on Friday afternoon if Nebraska tops Iowa?
Yeah, it definitely gets a little bit. I think there will be people who will suddenly look at that and be like, look, why didn't Logan start sooner? And I think context is really important in this. I caution again, we have all talked about this on this show multiple weeks. That offensive line holds so many keys to success. So the hope is that the offensive line is able to step up this Friday and give Logan the time he needs, especially since it seems likely that they're going to limit how much he throws the ball. So it's, it's kind of hard to put too much of like Logan versus Adrian because I don't think that's necessarily fair. But I have a feeling if Nebraska wins and Logan has a good day, there will be a lot of talk about that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not entirely all of the talk.
We know Scott Frost is going to be calling the plays on Friday. Do you believe that the playbook is going to change into more of an option type look with Logan Smothers at the helm?
I think you have to, because Iowa has 20-some takeaways at this point, 11 games into the season. And now Logan has progressed from everything we understand. He has progressed significantly from where he was when he arrived at Nebraska in his passing. But I think you're going to have to rely on him being able to run the option, use his legs, run the ball. This is the game for run the ball guy wherever you are, because obviously we know that's the kind of game plan that Iowa is going to want to run at Nebraska. But I think you don't want to set Logan up. You want to set him up for success. You don't want to put him into situations where he's making mistakes he doesn't need to, especially if the offensive line is maybe struggling at any point in the day. So I think you have to adjust. I don't, if you don't, and you play him similarly to how you've played Adrian, that's one, not adjusting to the quarterback you have, but it's also not adjusting to the fact that this is his first big time game in this. I mean, he's only really been in garbage time or in very limited scenarios.
We're speaking to Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity here on the Happy Hour. Aaron, speaking about the quarterback room with the injury now to Adrian Martinez, what does that do for the outlook on whether or not he is a Husker next season? What's your take on that? How do you think it's going to be an interesting couple weeks following the season, following Friday's game, but what's your outlook on Adrian Martinez's status next year as a Husker?
I think Friday definitely threw a wrinkle in things, knowing he's not going to play. I don't know if that necessarily guarantees he returns, but I think it definitely I shouldn't use the word guarantee. I think it definitely puts the option there for him to return to a collegiate team. Does that mean it's Nebraska? Maybe, maybe not. My gut feeling is that he's going to be playing college ball next year. I just am not yet ready to say if that's at Nebraska or not. And I will also caution people from too many rumors with him, because the one thing I have learned about Adrian in the last 4 years is he holds information very close to the vest. He doesn't give that information away really easily. So if your uncle's brother's friend from down the street had heard that Adrian is doing XYZ, probably not true. Until he says it, which it sounds like from at least what Scott Frost wants, we should know soon. He was kind of making it sound like that decision will be made quickly. But then I kind of wonder, if you're Adrian, do you maybe go through spring ball and then you determine if you want to go into the portal or not? I don't know. So I'm kind of on the fence. I feel like I feel like in my gut he'll be playing college ball next fall. Where is probably the bigger question.
I guess on top of that, how does Adrian's decision specifically affect how Scott Frost runs this team during the offseason and where he goes? I mean, with the offensive coordinator still up in the air about who that's going to be and them needing to go to the transfer portal, how does Martinez's decision specifically adjust how Frost navigates this offseason?
Well, I think that's a big reason why why Frost wants that decision from Adrian relatively soon. I don't think he wants any uncertainty. I think he wants to kind of have an idea of what am I going to have to look at as far as potentially looking at the transfer portal. Is the offensive coordinator I'm bringing in, do they have somebody in mind? How does that change maybe things for Logan? Because would Logan potentially transfer away if that was something where he knew Adrian was going to return for another season? So there are a lot of dominoes that could fall entirely based on his decision. So that's why I think Frost is like, we'll have that decision soon, because I think for him, he needs that decision soon. Could Adrian technically wait and make a decision later? Sure. Will he? Probably not. I feel like it would be a relatively soonish decision. But it does change. It changes how you recruit. It changes how you look at the transfer portal. It changes maybe who that offensive coordinator would be interested in bringing with them. If there's somebody out there right now, it does change things quite a bit. Either way they decide to go.
We're speaking with Aaron Sorensen of Hale Varsity. And Aaron, how quickly do you believe that Scott Frost and this staff Scott Frost really will try to get his offensive coordinator and the rest of his offensive staff assembled with the end of the season looming and recruiting ramping up and the early signing period just a couple of weeks away?
Yeah, I think you have to have that offensive coordinator in place like as soon as possible. So within the next week, once that Iowa now understanding that whoever this offensive coordinator is probably coaching somewhere else that, could be looking at a bowl game and everything else, but that doesn't mean you can't take them away when the regular season is over. But I think that regular season date of this weekend is going to be key. You have to get through that, get through Iowa, let whomever this person is get through their regular season. And then I think knowing that Frost has basically said, but he's not likely to make other decisions of who he's hiring into what spots until that offensive coordinator is hired.
Mm-hmm.
You can't wait too long on that, because if you do, it doesn't just affect recruiting, which then puts a heavier emphasis on that, more traditional signing day in February, but it also changes just like uncertainty with your team. What might people who have an option to go into the transfer portal do? Do they stick around and wait, or do they start looking? The sooner you have that decision made, the better for so many things.
I want to ask just a general question about Friday before we move on to another sport. But how do you see Friday planning out? I mean, is it just so up in the air that you have no idea, or how do you see Friday kind of playing itself out?
I'm not surprised that Nebraska opened as a 4-point favorite over a 9, like what Iowa's 9-2 on the season. That kind of didn't surprise me. There were a lot of people who were like, "Can you believe this?" Yeah, absolutely, I can. Nebraska really has. I think Vegas obviously knows what it's doing when it sets its betting lines, but it feels like one should fall Nebraska's way really at any point. Now that line did drop when the news broke about Adrian and the fact that Logan would be getting the start. I could really see it going either way. Just like almost every game this season, it feels like the opportunity to win is there. Even with a brand new person at quarterback, will Nebraska capitalize on opportunities? Will they be able to limit the damage on a team who, like I said, has so many takeaways on defense? Can they limit that damage? Can they take advantage of their own turnovers? I don't know. If the defense plays like it did last week against Wisconsin, it seems probably like Iowa's going to win this. If the defense can step up, maybe Nebraska can pull off that win over Iowa. It's just, I guess I've said this before, I really wouldn't be surprised either way at this point.
How do you expect next season to look with the defense? Because I'm kind of curious. I feel like that's something that a lot of people are overlooking, is that next season's defense is going to look quite a bit different, especially in the secondary. I mean, they're graduating 3 of the 4 guys back there, and Travis Fisher named those guys by name. But the defense is going to look different, and there's so many questions about the offense. Just what are your overall thoughts on the defense and how they've performed this year when Nebraska's really had to rely on them, not just lean on them, but rely on them to keep them in games? And now next year it's going to look quite a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very different. The defense that people know this year is not going to be what the defense is next year. Mm-hmm. And I think Schneider knows that. And that there's going to be some growing pains with that defense, because you're going to be plugging newer faces into it. You're going to be having players with less experience having to step up, and maybe they will, but until you see it, you don't know. And I do think that's an area where, when we talk about the fact that Frost's new buyout goes into effect the day after that Indiana game, which is 6 games into the season, I think there's a reason for that, because you're going to have a pretty clear idea of what this team and that staff can do with what they have 6 games into the season. And that's both on offense and on defense. So defensively, there's still a ton of talent on the defense. They are losing some really strong players though. So can they step up? It's not going to be, it's going to be an adjustment because it's not going to look like it did this year. That's for sure.
We're speaking with Aaron Sorensen of Hale Varsity. And Aaron, Nebraska women's basketball team hits the road for the first time as they go to the San Diego Thanksgiving tournament and take on Drexel in the first round. What can we expect from this women's basketball team in that tournament in San Diego?
Yeah, I was talking with Steve Mark, who is our women's basketball beat reporter, actually a little bit about this today as we were waiting for football to end. And we both feel pretty good about basketball. We feel pretty good about the women's team, how they'll perform on Friday. It feels like they match up well. Saturday becomes a little bit more of a question mark, but I think this is the test. I loved what Amy Williams said on Monday, that they're finally taking the show on the road. They wanted to be at home. They wanted to get in front of fans. They wanted to kind of build their confidence like that, but now they're taking the show on the road. This is a really good opportunity for Nebraska to get some of whatever they need to work out, especially in a road environment without a home crowd, without fans. A full, an arena full of your own fans. This is the chance. So I could see a little bit of some hiccups just as they adjust. But I think they match up well Friday, and it'll be interesting to then see if they're able to win Friday, what they can do Saturday.
We're speaking to Aaron Sorensen of Hale Varsity. One last one for you, Aaron. It's not sports related. It's just a simple yes or no answer. In your mind, is a taco bar for Thanksgiving meal weird?
No.
Thank you.
Life.
Appreciate it. That's all I need to know. Everything is all good. All good in the world today. All right, Aaron, appreciate the time as always. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you next week.
Of course, you both as well.
That is Aaron Sorensen of Hale Varsity. Let's take a break. Remember, get some submissions in for some folks to receive a couple Thanksgiving dinners courtesy of Muchachos and our good friends over there, as well as the $50 Canopy Street Market. It's no cost to you guys, no cost to them. Just trying to put some smiles on face before Thanksgiving. Let's take our final timeout of the week on the happy hour, and we'll round things out next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The weather has changed, and now it's time to adjust your footwear to change along with it. Stop into Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q to get ready for cooler temperatures and fashion trends. They're stocked with Hey Dudes, Brooks, New Balance, Danner boots, Keen or Merrill hiking boots, and plenty of other options. Plus, they have Nordic beach jackets and bindle tumblers to take to the gym with your new athletic shoes. So get to Brown's Shoe Fit today at 66th and Q.
Lincoln's Mega Liquidation Store is here. Wholesale Logistics is now open on West O Street as a bin store with tons of liquidation pallets, appliances, mattresses, furniture, and more. Brand new mattresses, 30 to 60% off retail with well-known brands. New furniture, also 30 to 60% off retail value. Brand new LG Scratch and Dent appliances, 35 to 40% off retail. Wholesale Logistics purchases truckloads of smaller items from major retailers and throws them into bins, with everything starting at just $8. Get to Wholesale Logistics, open each Friday to Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 2811 West O Street.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and in just a few moments, Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln, will be joining us with the latest update. But before I bring Andy on, I'd like to tell our listeners about how proud I am to work with Honda of Lincoln. I like the way they provide listeners honest, up-to-date information that helps people make informed decisions about buying or leasing. Hey, Andy, are you with us?
Yes, I am, Charlie, and thank you for your comment.
Andy, what's happening at Honda of Lincoln?
We still have truckloads of new Hondas arriving daily, and there's still more than 500 new Hondas to choose from, either in stock or on the way. Plus, we have 0% APR financing available.
How about used, Andy?
One of our best selections of all makes and models, and we have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas that have special APR starting at 0.99%.
That's great, Andy. Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Are you dragging through each day? Most people are dehydrated or deficient in essential vitamins, minerals, and more. Live Hydration Spa helps you get more out of your life with their IV hydration treatments to help with anti-aging, weight loss, endurance, and more. Their performance packages can help you feel better doing your normal daily routine with boosts of energy and vitality, an increase in immunity, and quicker athletic recovery. Call today for an appointment at 402-413-2042 or walk in at 71st and Pioneers. Live Hydration Spa.
Well, today's Husker Radio Report, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com. There's just something about Nebraska, Iowa. It's taken some time, but it's clearly grown into the biggest rivalry on the Huskers schedule. And for Eric Chenander, it even means more as he's not only from Iowa, he also played for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, this rivalry, I think it means everything. I know our guys want to win. They want to win a game in the last stretch here. They want to win this one. This game's got a trophy involved. Anytime there's a trophy involved, it's a special football game. Obviously, for me growing up in that state, there's a lot of people that I know they're going to be cheering for Iowa, which is, obviously adds a little fuel to the fire.
For Ben Stilley, this will be his 6th Heroes Trophy game. He's hoping he can finally come home with that trophy on Friday.
I think there's, a little, I guess, more hatred that goes towards each other, on both sides of the ball. So, it's just a little extra that goes into the game for sure.
Reporting here with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.
Tired of interrupted printing or money-wasting long-term copier contract? Join Cartridge World's no-cost printer program. You get a free brand printer, free service maintenance and repair, free delivery. All this for just buying our high-quality, affordable printer cartridges. Simple agreements and local friendly service, as it has been for more than 25 years. Cartridge World. Contact us today.
South Lincoln has a new place for you to catch all sporting events. The Upside Bar and Lounge is your destination for Monday Night Football, UFC fight nights, and more. It's a great place to meet friends to enjoy great drinks and food, with plenty of TVs to catch all the action. There's easy access and free parking and comfortable seating for groups. And don't forget happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. each weekday. There's specials every night, including taco night on Mondays and burger baskets on Tuesdays. That's at the Upside Bar and Lounge at 27th and Pine Lake.
Go ahead, let it sleet, let it slush, and let it snow, because the pros at T.O. Haas Tire are ready to help you with a new set of tires guaranteed to get you through it all, like the complete line of Michelin tires, including the X-Ice Snow Tire. And right now, you can get $70 back when you buy any 4 new Michelin tires at the T.O. Haas Tire near you.
T.O. Haas, Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here one final time for the week on the happy hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
I miss dancing to this song.
I know, Rico. After Iowa, we can dance.
Promise?
Only if Nebraska wins. Nick Sander and Enrique Alvarez Clary are with you today. 402-464-5685. I mentioned before the break there that Muchachos, our good friend Nick Masis over there, is willing to give away 2 Thanksgiving dinners for a couple people in need that just want to have a little bit more of a smile on their face. Just make sure that they know there's people out there thinking about them. And I want to mention this. We just got one submission that I want to talk about. I will be contacting them here shortly. But Kim lives in Lincoln, and she is raising her son of 14 years old and daughter that have some health issues. They are really, really good people. So Kim will be the recipient of one of the Muchachos Thanksgiving dinners. So thanks to the anonymous texter, and thank you to Kim for everything you do for your 2 children, and then as well as to Muchachos for donating some Thanksgiving dinner. Stick around. There will be more giveaways and opportunities. It's not even a giveaway. It's more of an opportunity to just put some smiles on people's faces around the holidays. Harold Spheres says, happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Harold.
Appreciate you guys. It has been, I will say this, and this is, I'm not trying to get soppy here, but
you're definitely going to.
I'm not going to, but it has been cool. Obviously, you guys know I started back in August with this with the show.
Was it?
With the show.
Yeah, okay.
It was actually about a year ago that I started as an intern.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, time flies.
Look at you.
Time flies. But no, it has been cool because you guys have been awesome on the text line, calling in. Appreciate you guys for not giving me too hard of a time on the text line when I say boisterous takes and everything. So I appreciate that. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Don says my brother's having us over for a taco nacho bar for Thanksgiving. In the past, my extended family had a soup dinner as a get together for Thanksgiving. No need for hating. Soups don't excite me.
Don, guess what? I'm not going to hate on you, Don, because you're great. I love you, Don. But Nick, on the other hand, the Sainers, I'm going to hate on him. Who does that? Who does a taco bar?
I've had about 4 people text me talking about my taco bar, that they like the cabin idea, but they don't like the taco bar.
Cabin, great. Taco bar, no.
Cabin, good. Taco bar, bad.
Honestly, to make the taco bar more things, just have a turkey. Just have a turkey in the middle of the taco bar, carve it up a little bit, boom. There you go. Thanksgiving-y.
There we go. I wanted to get to this text. It's very interesting because it kind of talks about this coaching staff. We beat Kevin in Southwest Lincoln says we beat Penn State last year without Adrian Martinez. And then Faisal says if they win, then it would be Frost's best win, and Smothers would have done something that Adrian couldn't do in 3 years. Smothers can accomplish more in one game than Adrian did in his entire career if he wins, unless you just care about Adrian's stats. Very interesting about how this is. Logan Smothers has an opportunity to lead Nebraska to Scott Frost's best win as the backup coach.
The backup quarterback is always the most popular person.
So we have 30 seconds left before we get to predictions. I came across a Facebook memory today. I was at the Nebraska-Iowa game in 2017.
Oh, yeah?
And my caption was, well, fans are starting to leave the seats, but at least UCF is losing to Memphis, so we might get Scott Frost by Sunday.
Spoiler alert, they didn't lose to Memphis.
Spoiler alert, we got Scott Frost, and here we are, 15-28.
Woohoo!
Rico, prediction really quickly.
I got Nebraska winning. I don't have a score.
Okay.
I just have them winning. Logan Smothers is going to be great.
I think Nebraska wins as well. I think this is going to be a 17-14 game.
Wow.
Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you later.
Adios.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank.